Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Capital City Baptist Church. The devotion for today is titled Imitators. One of my favorite things about being a parent is when someone tells me how my children look so much like me. Of course, though each one of my three children are unique in their own right, no one can help but notice that they all have some resemblance to me and also to my wife, their mother. And it makes sense that they would. Our children came from us. They carry our genes, our DNA, if you will. But our children also carry something else that, although DNA might play some part in it, comes more from teaching rather than inerrant. Our children resemble us physically. That's a given. But our children also resemble us in other things too. Since very young, our children are born as learners, learning from everything they see and experience from us. Our children watch us day in and day out because they live or have lived with us. They observe, they learn, and they prepare for how they will be as adults, and we are their primary teachers. Then, as the children get older, they watch other adults as well. They watch their other older family members. They watch their teachers at school. And if they go to church, they watch the adults there too. They are constantly watching and learning. Some things for good, others not so good. As I ponder on the fact that these little ones are constantly watching and learning from us, it doesn't surprise me that the Lord issued a very harsh declaration to adults when he stated that if anyone were to cause one of these little ones who believe in me to fall, it were better for him to have a millstone hung around his neck and he were drowned in the depths of the sea, according to Matthew 18:6. Now, why would the Lord say such a thing? Well, I think clearly the Lord values the innocence of children, whether in physical age or in spiritual maturity. He also gave this declaration to us all as a warning to not become a stumbling block to those who are young in their spiritual walk. Some years ago, when I worked as a teacher in Christian school, I was blessed to be able to attend a conference that was called ACSI. In other words, the Association of Christian Schools International, which would have their annual seminars or conferences in downtown Sacramento. Now, in that conference, several thousands of teachers from California, Christian teachers from California, would come together to get pumped up with an arsenal of motivational speakers and seminar leaders that were mostly teachers who had notable success in their fields and would be sought after to share their recipes for success with fellow teachers. Now, the conference, frankly, was actually a lot of fun, and I believe I learned quite a bit from them. But one thing that would disturb me tremendously, it was the behavior of many of these teachers during the seminars and general sessions. The exact behavior that these teachers would call out and punish their students for in their schools and classrooms was the exact behavior they would display during the conference. Getting in and out of their seats at their leisure, talking and carrying on while the seminar leader or keynote speaker would be speaking, arriving late to seminars, disrupting the speaker, and well, you get the picture. So once again, the old and detestable saying, do as I say, not as I do. These teachers would expect their students to follow all the strict rules and regulations, but the teachers themselves would not follow their own rules and expectations. The Lord had one word for this behavior, and it's not a nice one. He called them hypocrites, and with good reason. The religious leaders of their day were making all kinds and sorts of demands from the people that they themselves could not and would not follow. Oh, they would put on a very nice show every now and then to try to convince the people of their religiosity. But frankly, even the people themselves could see right through their hypocrisy, and anyone who actually supported them was because there was something in it for them. When they arrested, falsely tried, and eventually crucified our Lord, no one was fooled that their justice had anything to do with real justice or honoring God. But why all this conversation, you might ask? Well, today's passage says something so plain, so simple, and yet so profound. It states like this in Ephesians 5:1, "Therefore, be imitators of God as beloved children." Brothers and sisters, if we think that our responsibility before the Lord ended when our last child left the nest, we are absolutely mistaken. Our responsibility never stops. We are to be the light of the earth, the salt of the earth. We're called to be Christians. Webster's defines a Christian as one who follows the teachings of Jesus Christ. Brothers and sisters, we are being watched every day. Are we being the examples we are supposed to be? Or with our behavior, have we already led some people away from the Lord? Have we caused the weak person to stumble? Have we discouraged others from wanting to get involved in church because we refuse to let go of sacred cows that are based on nothing more than tradition and personal preference? Instead, my brothers and sisters, would it not be better to stop that behavior that focuses on self's flawed character and instead embrace the King of Kings and truly submit to his teachings? Instead of being hung up on religion, how about a real relationship with Christ that is palpable and evident in the form of humble servitude? Instead of focusing on what we want, how about focusing on what he wants? Brothers, we are called, and sisters, we are called to be imitators of God as beloved children. Now, I started this devotion referring to my role as a parent. I have lived life for almost 30 years as a parent. In those 30 years, there have been many mess-ups that I am anything but proud of, and I wish I could go back and do things differently. But that time has passed. Instead, my goal must be that as long as I have breath, may I do better as a parent of my adult children and hopefully make up for some of my past failures. As a Christian, all the more. Brothers and sisters, may I challenge you to seek to be Christ-like. May I challenge you to genuinely submit to the Lord's leading and make your walk be about him and not about yourself. How about if we try to be an encourager with our actions? Let's be encouragers to others to follow Christ because our actions testify of our commitment, submission, and love to and for him. What a responsibility, but what a privilege as well. Brothers and sisters, let's be imitators of God as his beloved children. May God bless you. And Lord willing, I look forward to seeing you on Sunday.